The modern internet looks wireless. But the part joining countries together is mostly a physical network of glass fibers lying on the seabed. The International Telecommunication Union says submarine telecom cables carry more than 99% of international data exchange. Cloud services, payments, calls, and government systems depend on a surprisingly narrow set of cables, landing stations, and specialist repair ships. In deep water, a cable can be little thicker than a garden hose, with hair-thin glass fibers protected by insulation and power conductors. Near shore, cables receive extra armor because anchors, fishing gear, and construction create the greatest everyday danger. The ITU says more than 200 cable repairs were reported worldwide in 2023, more than 3 failures each week on average. Most breaks are caused by accidents or natural hazards, not secret attacks. Dramatic headlines can hide the ordinary maintenance burden. But a network that survives routine faults can still become fragile when several routes share the same narrow geography. Redundancy is the first defense. When one cable fails, traffic can be rerouted through another, if spare capacity and alternate geography exist. Large connected markets may have multiple paths. Small islands and underserved regions can depend on only one or two systems. The 2026 ITU report highlighted geographical concentration and dependence on a small number of cable systems as major global risks. A cable failure is also a logistics problem. The damage point must be found, permits secured, a vessel dispatched, and the cable lifted from kilometers below. Repair ships are scarce and cover huge regions. A vessel may be days away before weather, port access, and legal permissions are considered. The ITU's recommendations focus on faster deployment, faster repair, better risk monitoring, and more diverse routes. Guarding every kilometer of ocean floor is impossible. The network is too long, too remote, and too exposed to ordinary maritime activity. The practical goal is resilience: detect unusual activity, reduce hazards, maintain spare parts, and restore service before disruption spreads. Europe's 2025 Cable Security Action Plan proposed stronger surveillance, shared situational awareness, and emergency repair capability. Cable policy is moving from telecom maintenance into national security. One fault can trigger technical, police, military, and diplomatic responses. Attribution is the hardest part. A dragged anchor can look accidental, negligent, or deliberate, and evidence may sit on a moving vessel far from the break. Respond too slowly and a hostile actor gains confidence. Respond too aggressively and an accident can become an international confrontation. The UK Parliament's 2025 inquiry warned that old assumptions about geopolitical stability and commercial efficiency are no longer enough for crisis planning. Commercial networks move traffic efficiently. National resilience asks a different question: what survives when several systems fail at once? Extra routes are expensive, especially when demand is uncertain. But cable ships, components, and landing capacity cannot appear instantly during a crisis. Landing stations create another concentration point. Several cables may arrive in the same coastal area because geography and permits make it efficient. A route can be diverse across the ocean yet still share the same beach, power supply, inland fiber corridor, or data center connection. Cloud companies and content platforms increasingly invest directly in cable systems, adding capacity while shifting strategic influence toward a few global firms. Cable routes are not only engineering decisions. They influence which cities become data hubs, which countries gain redundancy, and whose laws touch the traffic. Existing fibers may also help detect disturbances, earthquakes, or unusual strain along the seabed, turning the cable into a sensor. But monitoring creates its own questions: who receives the data, what counts as suspicious, and how false alarms are handled. The strongest system combines new routes, faster permits, regional repair agreements, spare equipment, and shared incident protocols. For wealthy markets, resilience means paying for capacity that may sit unused. For vulnerable islands, a second cable may be essential infrastructure. Governments also need exercises involving banks, hospitals, emergency services, and cloud providers, not only telecom engineers. The public may never notice a single break because rerouting works. That invisibility proves good engineering, but also makes investment easy to postpone. The 2026 ITU report does not say the internet is about to collapse. It says resilience depends on constant, unglamorous preparation. The internet's weakest link is the gap between how essential the system has become and how slowly repair capacity, route diversity, and crisis planning can expand. The buried signal is simple: the internet feels weightless only because its heaviest risks are hidden below the surface.